Whilst it does take social and strategic components in one's game to make it far into Survivor, there is one element that all players that go deep do possess, and that element is luck. Luck plays a major role in getting deep into the game, from how well you benefit from the initial tribe selection, to tribe swaps, to unknown advantages you do not know exist, to production introducing new concepts into the game each and every season. There are a range of factors which contribute to progressing far in the game. One person who I felt drew the short end of the stick in a very recent season, Island of the Idols, was Jamal Shipman. This is Analytical Strategy, and today I want to talk about Jamal's downfall and really how unfortunate events resulted in him going out in a really bizarre fashion. Now before I delve into his specific game, I just want to give major props on a human level to Jamal, who I really think was one of the shining lights in this downer of a season. Everything he said was said with reason, it was spoken very eloquently, and he really is the type of person that has the world as a whole best interests at heart. I think he is a fantastic person, and I really think he deserves to come back and get the chance to play in a season that isn't surrounded by drama, and he can really focus in on just playing the game of Survivor, and us as viewers can appreciate his game on a higher level. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, so big ups to Jamal overall as a person. Now let's delve into his game of Survivor. So he started on the wrong side of the numbers with his alliance member Molly going home, which was a big shock to him in the early stages of the game. He was able to turn this around quickly by finding an idol to protect himself if things went further south. He was then able to work himself into the game after the tribe swap and found himself in a pretty solid position. Now as the title suggests, this video relates to how Jamal was robbed, and the way he was robbed was pretty obvious overall. And it goes to the twist of the season, the Island of the Idols. So the Island of the Idols firstly was generally a way for Rob and Sandra to be a part of the game prior to Winners at War taking place, and also as an attempt to increase ratings overall. But putting that aside, it was generally for players to take a so-called test with their idols in Rob and Sandra, and if they passed this said test, they would get an advantage in the game. The kicker was, they didn't have to take on the challenge if they didn't choose to, as generally they would lose their vote at the next tribal council if they were to fail. Some jumped in without thinking and bit the bullet and were like, I'm here on Survivor, let's go, let's do it no matter what. While some took a more cautious approach. They took their time, they got offered better deals, and then they decided on what was best for their game, which really is the way that it should be conducted. And then there was Jamal. So Jamal on the other hand, well, he got screwed. So Jamal and Karishma stumbled upon a note which read, "You found me, I'm yours," which as he opened it led him to this very destination of the Island of the Idols. Jamal quickly turned to Karishma and he said this could be something good, and if it is something for the both of us as we found this together. This is absolutely the correct move to make, giving comfort to the person with him when finding a perceived advantage. So far so good for Jamal. He then treks via boat to the island and is greeted by Rob and Sandra, two of the best players in the history of the game. Again, this has to be a good thing, right? Wrong. Oh so very, very wrong. Now once introductions were over, they got down to business. Yes, the hanging note that Jamal found. He opens the note and it reads, "You just learnt a tough Survivor lesson. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. The minute you grabbed this note, you lost your vote at the next tribal council." Hang on, what? Now since when in Survivor was this ever a lesson? If you find a clue or an advantage, you grab it. If you find a package, you grab it. If you see a note that says, "I'm yours," you bloody well take it. You don't see it hanging there and go, "Oh yeah, seems normal," and then just keep on walking. The concept of it being too good to be true is absolutely wrong. This may never ever return to Survivor, and if you are a new Survivor fan, do not listen to this. It also contradicts every single quote lesson that Rob and Sandra were trying to push on the contestants throughout this season, to take risks and go for it. So within that part alone, Jamal is already robbed. He found an advantage and he lost his vote for it, and that is a bad start. But wait, oh wait, there is more. Jamal was then handed an actual advantage, which in some circumstances may outweigh losing your vote. Again, it wasn't like the previous contestants who ran the risk of losing their vote to obtain an advantage. Jamal was handed both at the same time. Now this advantage was for opportunity, a blank parchment where Jamal could do anything he wanted with it. Rob followed this up with what you are holding, a pencil. Have you ever seen one of those on Survivor? No, he has not. Rob continues to claim this results in Jamal obtaining a lot of power here. Now firstly, when they stated he could do anything he wanted with this was later revealed not to be true. He could not use it as a hidden idol or an extra vote. The extra vote is definitely the most obvious and best play you could do with this blank piece of parchment, as this is what people actually receive that advantage get, a blank piece of parchment, to write down whoever they decide to cast that extra vote for. So firstly, there are limitations to what he could actually do with this advantage. Secondly, we have never seen a pencil on Survivor. Every clue, advantage, etc. has been printed. So why would this change now? Anything he came up with handwriting would be extremely difficult to pull off, as it has never been seen before in the game, and therefore very difficult to believe, much like finding an advantage that teaches you a tough lesson. Now Jamal decided to go with the legacy advantage, and he handed this advantage to Dean. This I think is a decent option, given with legacy advantage there has to be handwriting in some way on the parchment anyway when you will it to someone. It also makes people want to vote that player off even if you are their ally, to try and obtain that advantage once they are voted out of the game. Now another reason it was a good option is it actually worked. It worked so well that Dean believed him so much that he made his own fake advantage in the game as well. So I think it was a very respectable move, given his unlimited options were in fact limited. Now the concept of this fake advantage really got me thinking. So what could have Jamal done with this parchment which would have really benefited his game? I still thought he could have left the piece of parchment blank and not write anything on it. And he could have used it as if he played a game on the island. He chose the wrong urn and he got a blank piece of paper, which clears him from the island's twists, as other contestants generally fear the unknown advantages being in play. He could have also literally used it for what it was. Nothing. He tells the contestants he had nothing, which could have put the fear into their minds that he actually has something. The old reverse psychology trick. He could have also ripped the piece of parchment into many pieces, and then wrote a bunch of different notes and then planted them into people's bags to stir up paranoia. But given he was the one most recent to go to the island, it may have been a little bit obvious that it was him doing this deed. Now one thing I do wonder if it was possible was if he resisted the advantage from Rob and Sandra, much like previous contestants, to try and obtain an upgrade, maybe such as a real advantage. Other contestants who thought long and hard about completing their task were often given upgrades to the advantage, and an easier attempt to win the challenge. If Jamal resisted, maybe they would have given him some sort of upgrade with this advantage, but that is hard to say with any certainty and it does seem unlikely. But overall, with the hanging advantage turned disadvantage, losing his vote and given a blank sheet of paper with a pen that he had to use with limited possibilities, which were unlikely to be true for the other contestants, this was just an extremely tough spot for Jamal to be in. He sold his story well, stating that he had to copy the advantage onto the parchment, but he ended up going home shortly after due to being too big of a threat in the game. Now in the end, I feel like through all these twists and turns this season, again likely with an attempt to attract more viewers through Rob and Sandra's island, resulting in an abundance of advantages, in this case turned disadvantages in the end was part of Jamal's demise. I feel like he is a very strong player, who if he did get the chance to play again has the perfect threat level on a second season, that he would do extremely well and be a very good chance at having a deep run in the game again. He is extremely knowledgeable, he's fantastic with people, and obviously it would be cast dependent, but he could hopefully stay out of danger and watch others in the firing line prior to him being the target late in the game, when it is too late to get him out. I rate him very highly, and I think he got Boston robbed, and I can't wait to see him play again. And there you have it, my first edition of robbed players in the game of Survivor. Please put down in the comments who you would like me to analyse next. If you enjoy this concept, remember to smash that like button and click subscribe with more videos like this coming in the future. Thanks for the support and I hope to see you again in future videos. This is Analytical Strategy and we are signing out once again. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.